Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda Fowler of inspiringinkin.com, and in today's video we're going to be making Rudolph using the Stampin Up Curvy Keepsakes die. Rudolph needs lots of different components, so what I'm going to do is show you all the components and then we'll start assembling. Okay, so first up I have some of the things that we're going to need for his nose. I've used these vintage faceted buttons, and obviously they come in clear and his nose needs to be brown. So I'm going to be using the blendabilities to colour them. Now just pop the lid off, and then what I do is I tend to do one side, allow that to dry, which doesn't take very long, and then do the reverse. So just go over the whole of the button. I'm using, what's this one? This one is the dark crumb cake, but also I've got the mocha, I think, which is from the Skin Tones set as well. So I'm not going to do all of them. I'll use the magic of video and I will come back to them in a moment when I've done them all. I also just wanted to show you, we're going to be using some of the designer buttons as well, but if you're going to be making a lot of reindeers, you're going to need more of the chocolate chip or espresso buttons. So the designer buttons will also colour with the blendabilities. So if I just show, I'll just go over like that, but you can see there that I actually did some of that earlier on, so we can get the right colour. We also need, Rudolph needs his red nose, so I'm also just going to colour one of the pearls. This is the Cherry Cobbler blendability. Okay, so they're sort of the components for the nose. So I'm going to move on now to the other components to make the head of Rudolph. So to make his head, you're going to need the Curvy Keepsakes die. You need to cut out 2 of those, and I've done that in chocolate chip. You're also going to need this die. This is the Autumn Accents, and it has this lovely oak leaf, and you're going to cut out 2 of those. That's going to make his antlers. 2 of those, also in chocolate chip. And then I've also used the Flower Fair framelets. So I've used this one, this petal die, to cut out 2 of those, and that's going to make his ears. So I've used the wood grain embossing folder on the Curvy Keepsakes die and also the oak leaves. I didn't use it on these pieces because these are going to make the ears, and obviously the Curvy Keepsakes box is bigger than the embossing folder, so all I did was I just folded it over and just put it in like that, just to give it its texture. So let's make the ears now. So what I'm going to do is cut off this bottom point about here, and what I do is I do them both together, then they're exactly the same size, and then I'm going to cut up to about halfway on there, and then I'm just going to get some glue dots, and I'm going to use a glue dot. It's easier to use a glue dot than wet glue because it kind of wants to spring back, and the glue dot holds it tightly. So I'm just going to hold it up, so hopefully you're going to be able to see the dimension there. And then all I've done is I have folded that piece back, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. So another glue dot on there, So pop that down to make the curvy ear and then fold it back. So there are my 2 ears, the antlers and the Curvy Keepsake box. So let's get Rudolph assembled. So Tombow glue, or what else would I use, on the bottom of the box. Don't worry if, like me, you've got a little bit of overspill of glue. It actually dries clear and you won't see it. Do use the bone folder just to give this a little bit of curve. You'll find actually that the cardstock is really soft because it's been through the embossing folder. So just be gentle with it. Don't press too hard. You don't want to tear it. Then bring up these 2 sections here. Just make sure that's stuck down. Okay, so put those 2 there, and that one over the top. Okay, right, so we have the base part of the box now. Tuck that down. So now I'm going to again fold back. Can you see? Let's show you there. I'm going to just fold back part of the leaf for the antler, and I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue on there, and I'm going to position the antler there. Now you're going to have to hold it for a little while. Just to make sure it stays. And the same on this side. And then what you're going to do is try and position it so it's equidistant. There we go. Okay. So there are his antlers. Now I need to pop his ears on, and his ears go on exactly the same way. A bit more Tombow glue on that section, and just position them just in front of the antlers. And that one as well. Obviously for the speed of the video I don't want to stand here and hold it for all that long. So what I'll do is I'll just pause the video just for a minute and just make sure that they are stuck tight. So now the antlers and the ears are all nicely stuck down. Before I go on to decorating the face, I just want to open up the box, just so you can see. Obviously you've got plenty of room in there, but I'm going to put a little jingle bell inside there. So that just makes a nice finishing touch. So I'll just pop that down. Okay, so the next thing we need to do are the eyes. Now I've used the 3/4 inch circle punch out of Whisper White and the 1/2 inch circle punch out of Chocolate Chip. Then I've got a little candy dot. Now this is from the Neutrals collection, but you can colour these with your blendabilities. So don't worry again if you've not got the right colour, because you can change their colour. So I've just popped that circle on there. Then I've used the white gel pen just to put a little highlight on his eye. Then let's get those eyes just popped on his face, and I put the eyes on first so then I can position his snout or his nose. Let's just move that there like so, and then that one as well. Okay, so you want it just so that the little highlight is sort of in the same place. So they're stuck down. I'll move those out of the way. Now, to make his snout, remember the vintage faceted buttons from earlier on? Well, these are all dry now, and I've started sticking them together. Now, you can either use hot glue gun, which works really well, or dimensionals, and I've already put 2 dimensionals inside there, and then I'm going to put 1 inside here, so you can see it's a perfect fit. So it was made to go in there. Just peel that off and peel the backing off that one, and then those 2 can stick together like so. Then either use glue dots, or again, as I said, you can use a hot glue gun, but for speed on the video I'll just use glue dots. So I've got 2 stuck together, and then 1. Then I'm going to put on a flat button. Again, this time I'm going to use 2 dimensionals. That's going to go on there like that. Then a red button. So we're getting to his red nose. 2 or 3 glue dots will stick it together well. So that will go on there like that. Then I've got one of the teeny faceted buttons and the pearl that I made into cherry cobbler earlier. Now these already have glue on them, so it will just, I don't know how, oh, I'm hoping that shows up. It's really pretty. And then I'm just going to pop that glue dot on there, and that's going to go on there like that. So that is his snout. Now, when I made this originally, I put it on, and then Rudolph kept falling over, basically because there was so much weight in the buttons on the front. So you will see on my original one that I have also got buttons here on the back, because obviously that's quite a sizable snout, and potentially he could fall over. So let's just get a few more glue dots on the back of that. Obviously if you've got treats in there, it won't make a difference, it won't fall over, but basically because this is empty apart from the jingle bell, we do need to give it a bit of stability on the reverse. So there we go. So there's another button on the back, and the glue dots there, and there you have it. Okay, so there is Rudolph. As I said in my original video, it's very, very straightforward. So just a little bit of die cutting and embossing and decorating his nose. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please leave me a comment at the bottom. I love to hear from you, and I reply to all of them. So I would love to hear from you. If you'd like to purchase any of the products made today, you can go onto my blog www.inspiringinkin.com and click on the top right hand side, the Shop with Amanda button. You'll find lots of other inspiration on my blog as well. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.